JCPS is gearing up for another day of expanded bus routes after more than 50 were reinstated yesterday.
Families are hopeful the more than 50 reinstated routes this week is just a first step for the district. Gabriel Gonzalez is live this morning with those details. Gabe, good morning.
Hey, good morning, y'all. Yeah, traffic has definitely picked up at the Nichols bus compound here this morning. We've seen plenty of buses leave. There are also plenty of bus drivers showing up this morning, and that is to drive the additional 1,000 students for this program. And that's the number of kids that JCPS has told us re-enrolled for this bus program. Now, the district told us, all in all, the first day went pretty smooth. As a reminder, bus transportation was restored for all students at Coleridge Taylor Young Elementary and Johnson Traditional Middle School. Free and reduced lunch students at Butler, Mayo, and Manual High School are also eligible. JCPS Superintendent Dr. Marty Polio told us he was pleased with how the first day went, considering the plan to reinstate was pushed back by a few months due to some hiring and training.
Well, we would have liked to have added a lot quicker, but what we had to do is make sure we could do it successfully. That's really the most important thing. So we would obviously like to have had it done earlier in the year, but we're happy we can do it now and really pleased that we can bring 1,000 of these students back in our buses.
JCPS hired TARC drivers to help cover the shortage of bus drivers and had to have enough drivers to get them trained and to get these routes going once again. As for what's next, JCPS says no additional routes will be reinstated this academic school year or next school year, but they are still working to recruit, and there's a bus driver hiring blitz next month. Now, JCPS is still giving gas stipends to parents who had their routes reinstated, and we now know how much money will be going out to those parents, and we will break down that coming up in the next half hour of GMK. Jim, Grace.
All right, Gabe, thank you. Arson investigators are looking into the cause of a large fire in which 7 llamas were killed. You can see the destruction it caused in this Sky 11 drone video. Louisville Fire says the barn on Schuff Lane between the Watterson and Louisville Zoo went up in flames around 4 yesterday morning. By the time crews were on scene, the fire had completely engulfed the building, making it impossible for them to get inside. 7 llamas did end up dying, and the owner of the farm, Caroline Willett, didn't want to talk on camera, but tells us that she routinely locked them inside the barn as a way to keep them safe.
They couldn't get away from it because they were locked in because we were protecting them from dog attacks.
So what Willett's talking about there is an incident from 2019 that we spoke with her about when 6 of her llamas were killed by dogs. We're told the llamas were adored by the community, and Willett says neighbors helped ensure that animals had a peaceful burial.
The suspect in a deadly Smoketown shooting is behind bars on a $1 million bond. 25-year-old Dakari McDonald appeared in front of a judge for the first time yesterday. He was arrested Saturday for a shooting on South Preston Street. Officials found 70-year-old Michael Evans dead from a gunshot wound. According to police, surveillance video tied McDonald to that shooting. He's now charged with murder and possession of a handgun by a convicted felon, and he's due back in court on March 28th.
The Trump administration's Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, is set to eliminate 700 federal building leases, including some right here in Louisville. Across the Commonwealth, there are at least 22 buildings listed to have their leases terminated. The Mazzoli Federal Building, located behind the Gene Snyder Courthouse, is on the list. Right now, it houses the Louisville Federal Credit Union, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, and the IRS Taxpayer Assistance Center. The lease terminations do not mean all the locations will close. It could mean, though, negotiating cheaper leases or downsizing.
Planned Parenthood is launching a new virtual health center for Kentuckians. The group says right now 76 of the state's 120 counties do not have any OB/GYN care, and this is meant to try to help fill those holes. Some of the services you'll be able to talk to a provider about include birth control, pregnancy planning. They're also going to offer support for gender-affirming care, plus STI testing and treatment. You can find more information in this story on WHAS11.com's homepage.
Kentuckians in 16 counties who've become unemployed due to last month's severe weather can now apply for assistance. That's according to Governor Andy Beshear's office. The assistance covers people in Floyd, Harlan, Perry, and Pike counties, some of which saw deaths due to flooding. We have the full list in this story on our homepage. The deadline to apply is April 25th. Visit the Kentucky Career Center website or call the number on your screen to file an initial claim. Today, we'll also learn more about the Metro's plans for severe weather awareness. Mayor Craig Greenberg will speak about that today in his weekly briefing at 10 o'clock this morning.